Hey guys, it's Kirsten, and now we're gonna work on back and hips. So for the back and hips, once again, we're going to use our hammock today. So let's start by getting familiar with that underhand grip. I'm gonna take that underhand grip, and I always tell people, think of it like a cummerbund, right? You've seen a tuxedo before. So we got that nice little cummerbund here, and I'm gonna step forward until it feels like, oh, I'm caught. Then I'm gonna bring my hands to my quads, slide them down, and then I'll come to fingertips and slowly adjust my feet back so that I can walk my hands forward and drop into my down dog. So this can feel really, really nice. Don't worry, like your forearms might actually land on the ground, but I want you to let the back of your neck be really long. So we'll stay here for your 10 breaths. In and out. Allowing that spine to decompress. Restoring some length. Sending the tailbone high. Let the heels melt down. Just 3 more breaths here. Last one. Good. Now to come out of this, you're gonna walk your hands back just one time. Step one foot, pick your dominant foot in. Then you're gonna take your hands in an underhand grip and then step the other foot forward. So you can keep a nice bend. Then you're just gonna pull yourself right back up, all right? So our next movement that we're gonna do is actually a variation of pigeon. So you'll wanna create a wide opening, and you might have to have a little bit of balance here because you're gonna lift that leg up to place it into your hammock. So I create this 90-degree angle, well, this flush angle with the front of my hammock, underhand grip, and then I'm just gonna send that leg forward. So I go from standing, I'm just gonna slide it forward. So I'm gonna stand really strong in that left leg and keep that lifted up so I can work the outer hip here. So we're breathing in and out just right here. Exhale. Good. Really try and sink into that hip, keeping a nice tall chest. Relaxed here. This is providing just a little bit more stability for you. You have just 3 more breaths in and out. Relax the shoulders. Good. And then to come out of this, you're gonna squeeze your hands towards one another, create a nice little bicep. It'll bring it back. And then we're gonna actually step right over. So we're gonna set up for a crescent. So I'm gonna step my right foot forward. This hammock's gonna come underneath my right hamstring. So it gives it nice support so I can hang out here, no hands, or you can keep your hands underneath if you're a little nervous. And then I wanna pull my ribs in so I can create that stretch through the front of that left hip flexor. So I can hang out here, I can interlace my fingers on the front, being very proper. This makes me feel like I'm holding a photo for high school sports team. But you can just stay nice and relaxed here. Keep the breath moving in and out. Those hips, if you've been doing any sort of hiking or climbing, they can be pretty tense. So this is a great pose to help reopen up that psoas that comes from our rib all the way down through that iliac crest. Get some more mobility so we're not hunched over. One more breath in, and then you're just going to, again, pull those towards one another. I'm gonna straighten my legs, and I'm gonna turn my right foot over to the right, part the hammock, and just have a seat. So I'm gonna turn my toes out, bring my palms facing outwards as well. Back of my hands press into my inner thighs. Keep my chest lifted. Create just a little bit more opening for those hips. And then again, just keeping that breath moving in and out. Nice and fluid. Keep pressing those hands actively into the thighs, thighs into the hands. Then go ahead and relax that active pressure, active stretching, and just be a little bit more passive in it. For another 2. Excellent. So then what you're gonna do, this is one of my favorites, you're gonna lean back because we could use a little bit more relaxation. The hammock comes in line with my armpit. I'm gonna bring my right foot in, then my left. Bring both of the soles of the feet together. Make sure you take added leaf out, unless you wanna keep it a part of the process. Hands come to the inner thighs and I'm just gonna drop back. Now the nice thing is if you have really tight hips is I can adjust how much this hammock I use. I can bring the hammock out towards my knees more, or I can bring them under the outer edges of my thighs a little bit closer to the hips. So it just depends. If your hips are a little bit more limber, you might slide it out a bit and just really just hang out here, breathing in and out. Taking it all in. Just feeling that gentle sway. Trying not to fall asleep. Or maybe falling asleep. And then if your eyes were closed, just slowly begin to blink them open. Slide the hammock out from underneath the knees. We'll come back through that malasana position, grabbing the front of your hammock just to assist you to step up and step that right foot back. And then we have to do the other side. So I'm gonna take that left foot. Again, we're setting up for that pigeon pose. I'm gonna bring my foot in. This one can be a little bit trickier to get into, so once you become more familiar with it. So I'm gonna slide that in. My knee is gonna be pressing up against the outer edge, and this can be a little bit more roped so that you can get a little more support. Underhand grip, and then I'm just leaning forward. Okay, so that lean forward is gonna help me create that opening in the outer left hip. Keeping that underhand grip, I just stay here, breath in and out. Keep breathing. I feel like that's a good life lesson. Always keep breathing. In and out. I have to be a little cheesy if you know anything about me. You know I'm full of cheese. Hope you're not lactose intolerant. This can be rough. See, I distracted you and now you only have 2 more breaths. Perfect. Last one. Slowly come back. And then I'm just going to bring that left foot in front so we can set up for a crescent. So again, creating a nice base for my left hamstring. I'm gonna straighten my right leg back, left knee is bent, tuck the pelvis just enough that I can start to feel that stretch through that right hip. And then underhand grip, just hanging out here. Feel that stretch, or again, no hands at all, just hanging out, checking out the scenery, looking at all the beauty around me. Keeping the breath moving, feel that stretch. I don't know about you, but after a long day of hiking or trail running, my hip flexor is insane. This is a good spot to help open it up. Keep pressing that hamstring up towards the sky though, so that you can create just a little bit more opening in there. Okay. 2 more. And last one, breathe in, let it go. Excellent. And then I'm going to keep that underhand grip, squeeze them towards one another so I can straighten the legs. Turning the toes to the right, turning my chest to the right. I'm gonna part that hammock, sitting down, turning the toes out just a little bit, keeping a nice flat back. Press the back of our hands into our inner thighs, staying here in malasana. And just breathing in and out. Noticing all the peaceful sounds around you. Three more. 2. Last one. Good. Then you can bring your hands back behind you. Lean back. That armpit starts to get stuck in there. Bring both feet in, soles of the feet touch, and then adjust the hammock according to your mobility and your need. Drop that head back. Just rest here in this position. Hard to believe that this is even a pose, but it is. Just letting all of the thoughts, cares of the world just drift away. Two more. Last one. Good. And then we'll come forward, bring the feet outside, give ourselves a little bit of an assist. I'm gonna stand back up, step over the hammock, and there you have it. Hips and low back. Enjoy.